Welcome back, guys. And I don't want to do that. Just gonna go back to what is it?
Don't blink, or you might miss it. The 7 rarest eye colors people can have. Hey, keep your eyes peeled because this one's going to be a real eye-opener. All right, have you ever really seen someone actually peeling their eyes? It's really gross. Okay, just kidding. Anyway, the eyes aren't just a source of all kinds of cliche phrases. Your eyes are your windows to the world and the window to your soul, apparently. So, how special are yours? Perhaps they're a super rare color. Before you learn about some of the most hard-to-find eye colors in people, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell to hang out with us here on The Bright Side of Life. So, what colors are your eyes? Brown, blue, green, hazel? And which of those do you think is the rarest? It might seem like an easy question to answer, but it really isn't so black and white. In reality, there's a debate over which eye color is the rarest simply because the term rare is pretty hard to define. One eye color might be very rare in a certain part of the world and extremely common in another. Okay, but what about your own eye color? Why do you have, say, hazel eyes, but your sibling has blue eyes? Here's where the science comes in. Eye color all has to do with this thing called melanin. Yup, it's the same melanin that's responsible for those cute freckles on your nose, for giving you that beautiful tan in the summer, and even for your hair color. But melanin only consists of the colors red, yellow, brown, and black. What about blue and green? How are those eye colors produced? Well, it's a fascinating mix of several factors. Eye color is decided by the amount and type of melanin in your iris, the colored part of your eye, the makeup and thickness of the stroma, a thin tissue in your iris, and lighting, especially for people with light-colored eyes. The most common eye colors are brown, blue, and hazel. Brown eyes, which have the most melanin, are the most common eye color in the world, representing just over half the world's population. Blue eyes are much rarer. They represent roughly 8% of the world's population. As for how they're formed, it's all got to do with light and a lack of melanin. You see, as light passes through blue eyes, it hits the back of the iris and then reflects back out. As it bounces back, it gets scattered through some proteins present in the eye, creating that blue color. And here's a fun fact. This phenomenon that scatters the light and creates the blue color in the eye is called Rayleigh scattering, and it's the same reason the sky appears blue. So next time a kid asks you why the sky is blue, there's your answer. And finally, hazel eyes are a little bit brighter than brown eyes. They have more of a green or yellow tint and represent about 5 to 8% of the world's population. So you now know that the amount and type of melanin present in your eyes affects the color of your iris. But what determines how much pigment you get? Well, you can thank genetics for that. So again, if your sibling is blue-eyed and you ended up with hazel eyes, it just means that genetics decided to give your eyes more melanin. So in short, the more melanin you have in your eyes, the browner they'll be. As for the types of melanin, they are pheomelanin, which has reddish and yellow pigment, and eumelanin, which has brown and black pigment. Now, what's really cool is that some people's eyes can change depending on what they're wearing, the time of day, also known as lighting, and even the makeup they have on. Are you one of these people? Let everyone know down in the comments. Some people have a different colored or darker limbal ring, which is the ring around the outer edge of the iris. The limbal ring usually fades as we age, so this is something that's indicative of young eyes. Either way, our irises are like fingerprints. Even genetically identical people like twins have different irises.
The icing on the cake, my favorite part. See, the trick is to start adding the buttercream from the bottom and gently working your way up from the sides.
Hey, Mom, what do you think of my cake?
It looks wonderful, honey. We may need to work on your layering, but overall it's fantabulous.
So now that you know some of the science behind eye color, let's take a look at some of the rarest out there. Counting down from number 7, amber eyes. Amber eyes are one of the rarest colors in the world. They occur in less than 5% of eyes worldwide. Even though they're considered rare, there are some geographical locations where amber eyes are more commonplace, like South America and Asia. The color of amber eyes varies from a very strong copper to gold to russet to almost yellow. They're different from hazel eyes because there's no brown, green, or hazel present. Some experts believe that this color happens because of a yellow pigment called lipochrome that's found throughout the iris. Some might describe them as wolf-like, but wolves aren't the only animals with golden eyes. Others include cats, owls, eagles, and even some fish. Some famous members of the Amber-Eyed Club are Nicole Richie, Evangeline Lilly, and Nikki Reed. Number 6, green eyes. The fact that green eyes are considered a rarity may come as a surprise for some of you. But let's remember that some people wrongly identify their hazel eyes as green. There's actually a huge difference between green and hazel eyes. Green eyes are more uniform in color than hazel eyes, ranging in color from jade to olive to bright grass green. In some northern and central European regions and in Western Asia, green eyes occupy a larger percentage of the population. But despite this fact, green eyes are still incredibly rare, comprising only 2% of the world's population. That makes this eye color one of the rarest in the world. In green eyes, the front of the iris only has a small amount of melanin, which is usually red or yellowish pheomelanin. The light scattering effect gives off a blue color that mixes with the yellowish color, making the eye look green. Interestingly, people of any race can have green eyes, and they're more common in women than in men.